A cat?
Anne, please.
It's alright, I got 3 more.
Now, about the noise. While the men are in the building below, we must be complete quiet. Every sound can be heard down there, not only in the workrooms, but in the offices too. The men come at about 8:30 and leave at about 5:30. So to be perfectly safe, from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening, we must move only when it's necessary. And then, in stockinged feet, we must not speak above a whisper. We must not run any water. We cannot use the sink or even, forgive me, the WC. The pipes go down through the workrooms. It would all be heard. No trash. No trash must ever be thrown out, which might reveal that someone is living up here. Not even a potato sparing. We must burn everything in the stove at night. This is the way we will live until it's over, if we are to survive.
Until it is over.
After 6, we can move about. We can talk and laugh and have our supper and read and play games, just as we would at home. And now, I think it would be wise if we all went to our rooms and settled before 8 o'clock. Mr. Van Daan, you and your husband will be upstairs. I regret that there's no room for Peter, but he will be here near us. This is where we will be our common room, where we'll meet to meet family, talk and eat and read like one family.
Where do you and Mrs. Frank sleep?
This room is also our bedroom.
That isn't right. We'll sleep here and you can take the room upstairs.
It's your place.
Please, I've thought this out for weeks. It's the best arrangement. It's the only arrangement.
Never can we thank you. I don't know what would have happened to us if it hadn't been for Mr. Frank.
You don't know how your husband helped me when I came into this country. Knowing no one, not able to speak the language, I can never repay him for that. May I help you with your things?
No, come along, little dear one.
You'll be all right, Peter. You're not afraid?
Please, Mother. You too must have some rest, Edith. You didn't close your eyes last night. Nor you, Margot.
I slept, Father. Wasn't it fun? Wasn't that funny? I knew it was the last night in my own bed, and yet I slept soundly.
I'm glad, Anne. Now you'll be able to help me straighten things in here. Come with me. You and Margot rest in this room for the time being.
You sure I couldn't help? And Anne hasn't had her milk yet.
I'll give it to her. Anne, Peter, it's best for you to take off your shoes for now before you forget.
You sure you're not tired, Anne?
I feel fine. I'm going to help Father.
Peter, I'm glad you are to be with us.
Yes, Mrs. Frank.
What's your cat's name?
Mushki.
Mushki, Mushki, Mushki. I love cats. I have one. A darling little cat, but they made me leave her behind. I left some food and a note for the neighbors to take care of her. I'm gonna miss her terribly. What's yours? A him or a her?
He's a Tom. He doesn't like strangers.
Then I'll have to stop being a stranger. Won't I?
Huh?
Did you fix him?
No.
Oh, you ought to have him fixed. To keep him from, fighting. Where did you go to school?
Jewish secondary.
But that's where Margaret and I go.
I used to see you sometimes in the schoolyard. You were always in the middle of a bunch of kids.
Why don't you ever come over?
I'm sort of a lone wolf.
What are you doing?
Taking off the star.
But you can't do that. They'll arrest you if you ever go out without your star.
Who's going out? I didn't have any dates.
Oh, I did. I had a date with Jopie to go and play ping pong at her house. Do you know Jopie DeWall?
No.
Jopie's my best friend. I wonder what she'll think when she telephones and there's no answer. Probably she'll go over to the house. I wonder what she'll think. We left everything as if we suddenly been called away. Breakfast dishes in the sink, beds not made, Look, it's still here. What are you gonna do with yours?
Burn it.
It's funny, I can't throw mine away. I don't know why.
You can't throw something they branded you with that they made you wear so they could spit on you.
I know, but after all, it is the Star of David, isn't it?
Maybe it's different for a girl.
Forgive me, Peter. Now let me see. We must find a bed for your cat. I'm glad you brought your cat. Anne was feeling so badly about hers. Here we are. Will you be comfortable in that?
Thanks.
And here's your room. But I must warn you, Peter. You can't grow it anymore. Not an inch. Or you'll have to sleep with your feet out the sky room. Are you hungry?
No.
We have some bread and butter.
No, thank you.
You can have it for luncheon then. And tonight we'll have our first real supper. Our first supper together.
Thanks.
That's a nice boy, Peter.
He's awfully shy, isn't he?
You'll like him, I know.
I certainly hope so, since he's the only boy I'm likely to see for months and months.
I know, there's a box there. Will you open it?
You know the way I'm thinking of it? I'm going to think of it as a boarding house. A very particular summer boarding house. Like the one we... Father, my movie stars! I was wondering where they were. I was looking for them this morning. And Queen Wilhelmina. How wonderful.
There's something more. Go on, look forward.
A diary! I've never had a diary. I've always longed for one. Pencil. I'm going down to the office to get a pencil.
Anne, no.
But there's no one in the building yet.
It doesn't matter. I don't want you to go beyond that door.
Never? Not even at nighttime when everyone is gone?
Never.
Or on Sundays? Can I go down to listen to the radio?
Never. I'm sorry, Annie. It isn't safe. You must not ever go beyond that door.
I see.
It'll be hard, I know. But always remember this, Annie. There are no walls, there are no bolts, no locks that anyone can put on your mind. Meep will bring us books. We will read history, poetry, mythology. Here's your milk. As a matter of fact, between us and being here has certain advantages for you. In instance, you remember the battle you had with your mother the other day on the subject of overshoes? You said you'd rather die before wear overshoes, but in the end you had to wear them. Well, now you see, for as long as we are here, you will never have to wear overshoes. Isn't that good? And the coat that you inherited from Margaret. You won't have to wear that anymore. And the piano, you won't have to practice on the piano. I'll tell you, this is going to be a fine life for you.
I thought I'd better get some water from the machine.
Of course. Look, it's still there. What are you doing with yours?
Burn
A cat?
it. And please.
Peter's relationship with Peter, but
Oh my
this
God,
is not
you're
how you
killing
cope.
What? Okay, should I be Peter in this one since you talk like right there and I have
Yeah.
time to take off?
Yeah.
Why are you killing Mushki?
Hey!
Not.
Yes, you are.
Not made.
Peter, I'm glad you are to be with us.
Yes, Mr. Frank.
He's awfully shy, isn't he?
You'll like him, I know.
I certainly hope so, since he's the only boy I'm likely to see for months and months. The boarding house, like the one that we...
No.
Father, my movie stars.
Nice hat. Oh, sorry,
Thank you.
did I interrupt? I'm sorry.